Welcome, everyone, far and near. You have now entered the cosmic radio receptors of KCIW 100.7 FM in Brookings, Oregon. Thank you for tuning into this week's fabulous program show. I'm Dr. GiGi, and my co-host is, as always, Jacques Kepner. How are you today, Jackie Poo?
I'm doing fine. Greetings, everyone. A big shout out to our sound engineer, Tom Bozak. Happy Wednesday, everyone. We're officially one day away from being 6 days before next week, when we will be doing exactly what we're doing right now, but in 8 days from now, minus that extra bonus day known as Friday. So there you go. Welcome to the Doc and Jacques show. I want to mention that you're hearing this live show on KCIW in Brookings, Oregon, live. That said, this same show will be rebroadcast in exactly 1 week from now, each and every Wednesday on KZZH 96.7 FM in Eureka, Humboldt at 8 a.m. in the morning. And then a few hours later at 1 p.m. on my old alma mater, KFUG 101.1 FM in Crescent City, California. So now you know, Doctor and I have your coasts covered.
Right, and before Jackie introduces our guests today, we start off with our new combo called Chatting MD.
Oh, it's called Chatting MD now? Is that, we've changed it? I see you changed it. Okay. Oh, she's got her.
Oh my gosh, it all go. Okay, so.
Okay, you got it?
Today we're starting off with tooth stuff. We want to learn about
teeth, you mean?
A tooth, lots of teeth.
I have a toothache. Toothache.
Toothache.
Yeah.
Okay, so the anatomy of a tooth.
All right, tell us what
From the outside in. The outside is called enamel.
Oh.
Lots of people know that. The outermost, hardest layer of the tooth, and is the hardest natural object in your and my body.
So bone is harder than enamel, or you're saying it isn't?
I'm saying enamel is harder than bones.
Now we know.
It is minerals. It's made up of minerals, calcium phosphate, which is also the consistency of bone, but it's just put together a little bit differently. So further inside of the enamel, the hardest thing in our bone is the dentin.
Oh, dentin. I like that gum.
It's also a bone-like tissue, and it makes up most of the part of the tooth. That's what we're envisioning when we're seeing a tooth.
Okay.
It is softer than the enamel, though. And so then you go further inside, and you have the
Pulp fiction?
pulp. Yeah.
Pulp?
Pulp.
Okay.
The pulp is the soft tissue. Important to remember, soft tissue in the center of the tooth where there are nerves, blood vessels, and the connective tissue. This part is not rigid. It is soft, right? And then on the outside only of the root is the so-called cementum.
Whoa, sounds like
that
air
helps.
chamber or something.
And that helps to anchor the tooth to the jawbone to make a gumphosis,
Okay.
which is the...
Spontaneous questions. Are teeth organs?
yeah.
They are organs?
Sure. They're something that work together on a common function.
Oh,
Food.
cool to know. So my heart is an organ, my kidneys, my liver.
Yeah, we had a whole
my
show on
teeth
organs.
are organs too. I'll be darned.
Okay, what I want to highlight is that the tooth, that cementum, holds it to the jawbone, which is actually a joint. It's called a gumphosis.
So it
joint.
slightly moves.
It very slightly moves.
All right. So I've researched some interesting facts and info about this subject, Doc.
Yeah, you would ya?
The average American spends less than 50 seconds brushing their teeth per day. That's not that much.
No.
You
My
always want
sister
to...
does 3 minutes every day.
Every day she has a little
Right,
timer,
you have
right?
a little
Some
timer.
people are kind of like, OPDD, whatever it is.
see.
You know those things. Always keep your toothbrush at least 6 feet away from a flushing toilet because of floating debris. Better yet, keep it in a cabinet, but do never not ever use those. Yeah, do never not ever use those little caps that just cover that toothbrush head, because it's moist and warm, and that's where bacteria grows. So your little incubator there, and then you put that into your mouth. The Egyptians used honey and eggshells to brush their teeth with plant roots as brushes.
I wonder what the honey did there. Probably enticed the bacteria.
Egyptian honey is still good after thousands of years. It's still edible.
All right, let's go to the tooth development, also called odontogenesis.
Yeah, there's a doctor phrase.
It is a complex process that begins in the fetus, to be exact, at 8 weeks after conception.
Your teeth start growing 8 weeks?
Yeah, so they start forming, and they're forming on a little skin-like it's basically mouth skin. And after about 4 months, we actually have the real teeth forming. So the pulp and the other stuff forms at 4 months of gestation.
Wow.
And the tooth development actually continues after birth, as we know. We have the baby teeth, and then we have the adult teeth.
What causes these weird things? I mean, how about nutrition when we're young? No? No? Okay, she's telling me no.
You're doing your stupid jokes right now.
I am not. I just put them in there.
No, they were in before.
I just put them in there because I decided, okay, but now you brought it up. I'm going to give a few, okay? Our guests can laugh at these. What award did the dentist win?
What?
A little plaque. They've already heard him. What do dentists call the x-rays that they take of patients' teeth?
What?
Toothpicks. Okay, that's enough for now. Get on there.
Cute,
Back
right?
to our teeth. What are some of the...
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Let's get back to the teeth.
How about nutrition?
Yeah. So why do you... what? So the factors influencing the tooth development, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, lack of alcohol.
Lack of alcohol, nutrition, yes. So
Sure.
we need the calcium, we need the phosphorus, we need vitamin C, vitamin D to get, and also during pregnancy, the mamas that carry us need to get those too so we can get good teeth in adulthood.
Wait a minute. When did Lucas, your son, when did he get his teeth out?
He got the first bottom tooth on the left side, came out at about 1 year, and we called it number 1. Hey, Lucas, I was number 1. Like in Star Trek, number 1, you're with me.
Wow.
That was so cute. How about your kids? Do you know?
No, I have no idea. I don't remember what my 30, 40-year-old children's, when their first number 1 came over there. I'll never forget little Orangey over there. That was so cute.
Okay, so then let's think about what can go wrong during tooth development.
Okay.
Lots of things, right?
Cavities?
Development, talking development.
Oh, sorry.
Hypodontia, hypodontia, or agenesis, the non-formation of certain teeth, all teeth or some teeth. Hyperdontia is more teeth.
So one is less.
And one is more. Hypo is less,
Okay,
hyper is more.
All right.
Enamel and dentin defects, there's a gazillion. So when you have certain, or when the mothers take certain medications, then the enamel can be stained. For example, I had a friend who had brown teeth, and she probably brushed it 6 minutes a day or something. But her mom took tetracycline when she was pregnant with my friend, and nothing can be done. She just has brown, tan teeth, a poor person. And if you have cleft lip or cleft palate, it can certainly distort the tooth formation.
Oh,
But speaking of hyperdontia, too many teeth, last week when you were talking about your life as a chattel
auctioneer, yeah,
we did not get to that one question, which you can answer now. What was your scariest thing you ever found in one of these chattels?
We didn't ask that. What was the most unusual, scariest thing I've ever come across in all the years of appraising chattel and antiquities? Was hands down 2016, Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. Went into a dentist's estate who had died. He was my brother Bob's dentist. And he had died, and his children had me come in to appraise the estate and break it up for them. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't tell. Okay, she's telling me not to use my hands. And I opened up a box that I found out in the garage, and there was a human skull in the box of a 13-year-old Afghani teenager who passed in the year, it was all documented, passed in the year 1900. And she was born with 3 sets of teeth and carried these. And so here was this clean, crystal clean, sterile skull of a young woman with 3 completely, it looked like jaws, these teeth. And she was all wired, there was wired up. It was so unusual. And I thought, oh my goodness, I need to get something unusual like this. And they decided to keep it. They just said, some cousin came along and said, no, I got to have that. But that was the most unusual thing I have ever seen. And to this day, it doesn't haunt me, but man, you get some medical stuff, weird stuff like that from back in the day. It's not only valuable. I mean, I don't even know I'm sure it's illegal to be carrying around a skull in a box.
Well, yeah, you can put it in a
Modern day
museum.
Jeffrey Dahmer or something. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe a MasterCard will.
But that was the strangest thing I've ever.
Okay, very
The box
interesting.
itself is beautiful.
Now, the one question that I always was wondering about is why tooth infections are so flippin' painful. I mean, you think your whole face is falling off because it's so painful.
Right.
So this is why. If you have an infection, you have inflammation. If you have inflammation, you have pressure buildup because a lot of liquids and fluids and chemicals come in to try to help with this invasion, either to clean up debris or to get rid of the invaders. So you have a lot of pressure in that pulp. Remember, the pulp is all
The Pulp Fiction, yeah.
the not the squishy part. So then the squishy part, you put a lot of more pressure into the squishy part that cannot go outside of the rigid part, and so it pushes on the nerves, and that.
It's also close to your brain, too.
Yeah, it is. It's quite painful, and it is quite dangerous, actually.
I've had a friend that had a untreated tooth infection and it went into his stomach, caused him a huge ulcer, and it killed him years ago. Does that happen occasionally, right?
I don't know about the stomach. It can go in the brain.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. It's so weird. I mean, teeth are something so important. So.
Did you know that people tend to lie about flossing?
Yep, I do. They do. People tend to lie about how much they floss. Only 12% of people floss regularly. I'm one of them.
Yeah, of course.
When
I went to the dentist, she asked me, after 4.5 years, I finally got into 4 years, I got into a dentist, and she said, do you floss? Yeah, I try to.
Yeah,
And I was like,
I think
after
everybody
that,
says that. When the dentist said to me, he said, do you floss? And I said, yes, I do religiously. And he looked at my teeth and said, you do? And I said, yes, religiously. Every Christmas and Easter, I floss.
it is super important, though, so now I'm trying to do better, and I'm kind of.
All right, here's something else. Americans spend over $100 billion on their hair care products.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, Americans spend under $3 billion a year on mouth and tooth care products. Seems to me like you might want to reverse that. Spend
Right.
a little bit more on the mouth and teeth
Yeah, I mean,
than that. In the 1890s, a machine that made, quote, fairy floss. It's the name of this machine called fairy floss. It was invented by a dentist. Today, fairy floss is known as cotton candy. And it was a cotton candy machine, the one that makes 100% pure sugar, super processed killer sugar. Put it on a stick and eat it. So it's great for business if you're a dentist.
yeah, right.
Now, a dentist is a full doctor, right?
Yeah, doctor of
Dental science?
medicine.
All right. Okay, cool.
Now, did you know that many animals have baby teeth, also known as deciduous teeth?
Like deciduous trees?
Yeah, you
They're
let down
fading.
your
They
first.
just come once and then they go.
No, you lose your first round and then
okay.
you get another one. Most mammals, including humans, dogs, cats, horses, and rodents, and get this, platypus, have two sets of teeth. You know, platypus is the
Yep.
egg-laying mammal.
Yep.
Now have two sets of teeth in their lifetime. And as they grow, they get, their jaws grow, and so they have room for more teeth. And our poor seals here and whales do not have deciduous teeth. They only have
They're born with
the
permanent
permanent set.
teeth.
Yeah.
What does a dentist give a very mad grizzly bear with a hurting tooth?
What?
Anything at once.
That's pretty cute.
All right. Well, that's interesting. We've had some interesting stuff. We've learned about teeth on MDGG, and it's right at that perfect time. It's about 14 minutes after. Today's show happens to be our 82nd episode of this Doc and Jacques show, and over the course of all these shows, we have learned so many things worth knowing and have hosted well over 160 unique people, interesting, entertaining people who make a difference in our coastal community. Today's guests are no different, as they are very popular and they fit perfectly into the texture of our coastal community, much like that iconic St. George Reef Lighthouse, which is just a few miles off our shores. Bruce Ellis and Crissy Cooper are constant warriors of and champions of good vibes and news and what's going on in and around our community, and the when and the where and the why. Like the tide that tumbles in on our western shores and then retreats to reform a different show at a different time, Bruce, Crissy, and others are not just chroniclers of our times. they spread good cheer together and release it into our community. Bruce and Crissy do not report on the chaos of society, but rather the fun and interesting and wonderful and entertaining things that go on around us at any given moment. These two individuals have a permanent place in our lovely coastal region. They've set out to make it that way because they know more than anyone else what's really going on, what's going down on any given day, weekend, or month. These two have become permanent fixtures within the landscape of Southern Oregon and Northern California. But just reporting what's going on is just the end of the fishing pole. So let's cast our line a little bit deeper into the ocean of information and camaraderie that today's guest knows so well. So without any further verbiage from me, Dr. GiGi and yours truly would like to introduce Bruce, Ellis, and Crissy Cooper to the Doc and Jacques Radio Variety Show. Welcome you two.
Welcome.
Hey, thank you. Glad to be here. It's good time. Hey, I love the beginning of the show there. The whole tooth, and nothing but the tooth.
There we go.
I felt like you were diving into my soul because I have the worst teeth on the planet.
You know what? I'm not proud of my teeth. It's like, oh, man.
I've lost so much. I still fail.
Teeth or mouth organs. Go figure. That's,
mouth
organs. That's the mouth organ.
Mouth
That's where it
organ,
came
right.
from.
You play harmonica.
Yeah, so there you go.
All right, Gigi.
There was so many things going on in my head when she was going through that. I was like,
I'm on a whole
We
different
do this
level
every
right
week.
now.
She's MD. She's an MD report.
I thought we were talking about good times, not the horrifying times that are real in my life.
you're like, right? No doubt.
Oh, boy. All right,
Bring it
Gigi.
to the traumatized Crissy. All right.
All right. Well, okay, let's start from the beginning. Bruce and Crissy.
Good place.
Where were you born and raised? Ladies first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was actually born on the St. Lawrence River in upstate New York.
Oh,
And my dad was in the Navy, so we quickly moved to Connecticut. So the first time I got to touch the ocean shores was on the Atlantic coast. And then we moved here in 1991
to where?
to Brookings,
Wow.
Oregon.
Cool.
We followed my grandparents here. There was like a RV wreck, and they were on vacation. Something happened. They accidentally ended up here.
Whoa.
And then the whole family moved from
Nice place
upstate
to-
New York
nice
to
place.
Montana. And
Nice.
They could have got the
so-
car fixed. I mean,
they did, and then they bought a house and they bought apartments.
Destiny.
And, it was destiny. So
great.
I've been here on and off ever since.
Cool.
Very nice. Bruce?
Yeah, I was born on a planet in a galaxy far away. Oh, you've heard this one before. Okay. Now, actually, I was
Wrong
born
story, Bruce. Wrong story.
Zorkon.
The wrong guy. I'm sorry. Hey, no, I was born in Hawthorne, California, actually. And
SoCal.
SoCal, in California. And then growing up, it's all over. My dad had that. It's always greener. The grass is greener on the other side of the state, or the
Center
other
of
side
right.
of the country. Whatever. We lived West Coast from Washington all the way down California. I mean,
Right on.
and then I slid out on my own all the way out until I ended up out here because, well, my dad was given 6 months to live. I was out in Utah, and so that's how I ended up.
Oh, Utah. There's such a good Utah.
I got family out there and everything like that. Yeah, my mom, my biological mother, and my stepdad, and my three
Where
brothers
did
and my sister, St. George and Salt
Southern.
Lake and
Oh.
St. Lord. Yep,
Yeah, Salt Lake. I lived
Salt
there
Lake.
for
Yep,
8
yep.
years.
And
Excellent.
St. George is where I lived at. And then when I was
nice.
given that, I moved out here. And the rest, just and the rest you'll be finding out about it.
How long ago when did you come out?
I've been out here 18 years now.
Wow.
Figured it out. Yeah, and me and this young lady have known each other for 16 of those years. Yeah.
Yes.
Very
When I was
nice.
pregnant with my oldest daughter, actually.
We did. We were on theater together when she had Lexi in her stomach at the time. So that's how we can always gauge how long we've known each other.
Oh, she already made a little tooth, but
So you've been here 18?
She already had her tooth bites.
18, yeah, she had her 18 years ago, and you were 5?
No, yeah, that's it.
you're right.
I was only 14.
Jeez, yeah. No, yeah, it's beautiful out here. It's a magical place. So I love
All right, but okay, give us a little bit of your backstory, Bruce. First, who were some of the interesting people that you've known or grew up around? Because we've had conversations before,
Sure.
and it's interesting. In Palm Springs, where was it?
Yeah,
You had
I lived
some
in Palm Springs for quite a while there, and when I was down there, it was during the the 70s, the 70s and everything. I was 14, so 75 on and I was down there for about 14, 15 years. But the jobs that we did, I like me and my dad went and cleaned Frank Sinatra's carpet. We cleaned Frank Sinatra's carpet, and then he ended up going to our same church that we went to. So I sat with him in church and everything like that. And I would talk to him. So I got to meet him. I worked on Red Skelton's car when I was a mechanic. And then I like delivered ice to Lisa Marie Presley's 16th birthday party up at Elvis house. Elvis was gone, but we delivered up there, and I got to meet Priscilla and Lisa Marie and everything like that. And there's just Bob Hope. I did I was security, did a lot of security work, so I did Bob Hope Desert Classic, and so I got to meet like Lincoln. The golfing people, three presidents, had Ronald Reagan wave at me and all that good stuff. Was out, cleaned President Ford's house, and everything. Had an Uzi pulled on me by a CIA agent who didn't read the list that said I was supposed to be there. I'm washing a window, and he comes around the corner like that. I shook my leg and went, "Hey, thanks a lot. Can you, read the list next time, will you, buddy? Thanks." So anyways, yes, I did. I got to meet that. And then when I moved out to Virginia, I was out there for a while. I was a backstage security for Nissan Pavilion. So a lot of music stars then.
How cool.
Like Peter Frampton and Jimmy Buffett and, all those. Yeah. You just name whoever was playing that scene. I got to go back.
So you were just at the right place with the right
time?
At the right time. And sometimes it just happened when I was working and I ended up being there, or like when I was working the Nissan thing.
Okay.
It was like I went, all the guys who were, because I was all built and worked out and all that good stuff, martial arts, and they said, "Why don't you want to go down in the pit?" And I go, "Because I want to meet the people."
Right.
So I went in the back, So that was my background back there. Cool. And that's also where I was involved with the Renaissance Fair.
Cool. Crissy, you met any extremely popular, famous people other than the Dr. Jacques and Bruce and I?
Oh, man. No, I honestly, I actually can't say some of the people I've met because they've been criminally investigated.
Notorious. She's got a notorious background.
She met the other part of the society.
I did run a bunch of backstage in Josephine County and Jackson County, and there's the Kenny Chesneys and the Jody Messinas and
a little bit different of a
Gretchen Wilson.
Cool.
Really the country music scene, because we were touring musicians ourselves, and so I always picked up the side job. If we're going to be backstage, I'll handle the clipboard and I'll wear the, and then these people were just like regular people. It was amazing, you know?
Right.
And
very cool.
It was really neat because I had my kids in tow.
Right on.
And meeting those people. My son's got a collection of drumsticks.
Oh, from all the drummers he's come across. Right on.
And you'd have to have him on your show to tell you about this drumsticks from this person. But most of my meeting of people are people here in town, and the most interesting people I've met.
Yeah, some interesting.
Elmo Williams right here.
Yes,
that man, when I was in like the third grade, that man picked me up in a limousine and took me over to Ashland or something to go see some off-Broadway production or something.
Cool. Elmo was great.
Elmo was a character. Never met him. He's long dead by the time we got here.
Yeah, as a kid, he was kind of a staple,
Yeah.
all of us wanted to be movie stars. And
he always came to the theater and watched our shows and everything.
He was a big supporter.
I went over and had dinner with him a couple of times, and it was just fabulous. Got to
he lived in a nice house out at the point out here.
And to be honest with you, the most interesting person that I grew up around is Mike Moran.
Our buddy Mike,
Mike Moran.
My partner, Pirate Festival partner.
Yeah, he's the one who started the Pirate Festival with Bruce.
Yeah.
And Mike was my theater dad. But he did everything around here. He was the pyrotechnics at the port for the 4th of July, host of the TV station, hosted the radio shows.
Wow.
He wrote all the ad copy. We built all the sets, painted everything. That man... I learned more from that man than from the professionals who are out there with a shining badge.
Did you have a nickname? I'm going to get to Captain Curry over here. But did you ever have a nickname that you want to tell?
I've got a lot of nicknames that are not this show
right, we're not going to
rated. But Chrissy's actually a nickname.
There you go.
My real name is Christian.
All right,
Christian.
And it's spelled C-R-I-S-S-Y.
So cool.
Everybody spells it C-H-R-I-S-S. I said, no, it's Crissy.
When I was born, I was supposed to be Ryan Christopher, right?
Yeah.
So my mom looked at me and she said, "Man, she looks like my Crissy doll." You remember the Crissy doll from the 70s?
I wasn't here in the 70s.
She had the arm that rotated and the hair grew and like the whole thing. Look it up. You'll laugh because you'll be like, "Oh, she kind of looks like her. She doesn't have brown eyes." But my mom saw her and she says she has to be Crissy. And my great grandma said,
"There you go.
You can't name her that. You've got to name her a Christian name." And she says, "Okay, her name's Christian. Her nickname's Crissy."
There it is.
Yeah.
And now it's Crissy.
I've been Crissy.
Big Christian Crissy.
I've been Crissy the whole time.
All right. Bruce, Captain Curry there, amongst other things. All right.
I've got several monikers, but Captain Curry is the one that I've had for 14 years since I've been out here, the 18 years.
And it fits in perfectly
It goes with the Pirates. I'm glad nobody took it, but yeah.
Oh, I do have Esmeralda.
Yeah,
I am
she's
Captain Esmeralda.
At the pirate thing.
It's only because I don't want people to know who I am. we're living on the
Take
Emerald
over.
Islands, so.
But I had 2 TV shows, and one was with Mike Moran and Rick Waffler, and it was called What's Going On, that we did here on Channel 9, that we did here for a long time, talking about the area and everything. So we were promoting, using my paper, The Inside of Southern Oregon, as our basis and everything like that. So
Cool.
we did that. Then I also had a character called, another show called Bushwhacker Bruce, which was...
Bushwhacker.
Bushwhacker Bruce.
I can't even imagine.
If you listen to my show, my Radio Insider Report that I have here on KCIW, I'll do a little segment with Bushwhacker Bruce. It's just
All right,
in memory
good.
of the Bushwhacker.
We'll get that.
Yeah, because but there's another moniker that I go by too. Yeah,
Bushwhacker
Bruce, right.
Pirate.
Right. Yeah.
Captain Curry.
Now tell us about the Insider Report.
The
newspaper.
IOSO.
Oh, the Insider of Southern Oregon
Yeah.
Entertainment newspaper? Well, it's been going 16 years when I was given 2
Whoa.
for any newspaper, but I said, but I'm not a newspaper. I'm an entertainment newspaper. So we've gone 16 years and strong and got a website and everything.
Wow, man.
And everything. But I started it because of the theater, and I write and produce, direct, and act and all that good stuff. And then I wrote a couple of plays, and when I wrote one that I was doing for the kids and everything, we wanted it to be out there as a fundraiser for the Muse Theatrics when I was with them. It got shoved aside by the newspapers and stuff like that. They just didn't see it, lost it, didn't get it. And I mean, you spend 6 months on doing something, writing something, and you put it out there.
Right.
You want it to get advertised,
Yeah,
especially when
yeah.
it's only running for a week or whatever. So I said out loud one time, I'm going to start an entertainment newspaper, and I kept talking about it, and somebody heard my voice, and
And a
next
day,
thing you know, we got it going. Helped me
shook my
finance it,
head.
got it going.
What are you gonna do?
But Elmo Williams, getting back to Elmo, at one of his dinners, I told him about this. I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing an entertainment newspaper. And I told him I had the name already and everything. I had it all set up. And he goes, I said, what do you think should I do it? And he goes, yeah, go for it. He goes, this area could use that. Go for
Right.
it. So when Elmo said, go for it, I was like, he goes, you got nothing to lose, right? Do it. Do
Right
it.
on.
What does IOSO stand for?
What's that?
Insider
of Southern Oregon.
Insider of Southern IOSO. There we go. Right?
Inside.
It threw me when I was
I thought it was Insider Report, so it's Insider.
Of Southern, yeah, the
Insider.
Insider Report is
Oregon.
my show, my radio show that was spawned off.
What's its mission statement, basically?
It's covering the entertainment in Southern Oregon, and when plays are done like that, I try to make sure and get them from the people. I got music for the for bands and musicians
Can I
around
take
the
a
area.
stab at this, Bruce?
Yeah, go for it.
I feel like our mission statement
because
is,
she's working with me now too. Chrissy's my
Tell
partner
us,
and everything
Crissy,
now.
what
Yeah,
your
yeah.
mission statement
Bring it
our
on.
mission statement is promoting the going-ons
Yes.
of the community with love and positivity.
Wow.
Nice. We like that.
And spreading the word. It was across
Yeah.
commerce. I spread it when I started this paper. We were having, everybody's having money problems and everything like that. So what I wanted to do is cause a cross commerce between the places where we were at with each other, so that each community would see what was going on in the other community and go support that thing. So this thing has there's a lot of mission statements on it,
Yeah.
because it was
It's a
made for many
monthly-
things.
It's a
And
monthly newspaper,
publication.
and it's a good old-fashioned publication where you hold it in your hand
Yeah,
like
right,
a
right now,
real
until they
newspaper.
tell me we can't, they
Until we're
can't.
not allowed to, yeah.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
And is
I
it
mean,
free?
Cool.
Yes,
You
it's,
can pick
it's
it up
free. Yes,
on-
the advertisers advertise with us.
very cool.
I'll pay for that. So we just give it. It's a
So
free
how big
paper.
is it?
It's 32 pages.
And how many copies? 30
We do,
pages?
we do like 3,000 because we just cover the local area
So you're
around the
covering-
area here. But we also have the Insider of SouthernOregon.com, which is, if you go there,
Right.
you can actually turn it and you can hear the pages turn.
Whoa.
So yeah, so
Nice.
Michelle Beaver, VIP, Oregon, VIP marketing, she took care of it, and she did
Very
that
nice.
really good. Yeah, so it was really cool.
So how many people or businesses advertise with you?
Oh gosh, I have about 58, I think, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, something.
There's your success right
Yeah.
there. You
Well,
got-
we have like 31 businesses that quote advertise with us by being, or how many vendors do we have? We have like 340 vendors on our vendor list, and they're advertisers if you really think about it, because they're paying for their piece of the pie on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Right.
So we really touch all sorts of.
Very
We hit
cool.
all areas with our events and everything. We try to cover every bit of the entertainment industry.
So mainly here in Oregon. Oh, wait a minute. I got to take a break.
Ooh.
Because guess what? It is that time. It's that mid-show break. Wow, we've been into it. This has been fun. Time is flying.
He got the flying
You're
pickles
tuned
in
into
his face,
KC.
Doc. That's
There we
right.
go. You're tuned into KCIW 100.7 FM in Brookings, Oregon. We wish to continue to thank major supporters of community radio, and let's acknowledge some of them. Michelle Bubert with our own vibrant local Curry County Chamber of Commerce. A big shout out to her and your support. Marie and Brett Curtis, our next door neighbors at Remax Coast and Country Realty in Brookings. Advanced Airlines. Big Advanced Airlines flying in and out of nearby Crescent City to Oakland and LA 7 days a week. The Checo Medical and Aesthetic Center, located right here in Brookings, Oregon. Dr. John Kirk's Port-au-Pines Craft Brewery, now with 2 locations in Crescent City. And Jim Doc Bellardi, bless his heart, and his Crescent Land Title and Escrow Company in old downtown Crescent City with the bear in his window. We'll come back to this in a few, maybe 15 minutes. We'll come back and give you a few more of these. But we're talking with Bruce Ellis and Crissy Cooper here on the Doc and Jacques show, finding about their history, finding about so much of the stuff you've been doing.
Yeah, they've been doing the IOSO
Right.
paper. What else have you had your fingers in?
Well, the events. That's pretty much it right there. What happened was in 2020, me and Crissy, it's a funny little story here, but we knew each other and everything forever. And she did the Slammin Salmon and she did the Sky High 4th of July. And then I got the Pirate Festival and created the Bodacious Bazaar. Well, in November, December of 2020.
2019.
Yeah,
The year before the COVID.
We did a thing in the COVID.
year-
We did a thing at the end of COVID.
Right. It was 2019.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
it was like
Yeah, we did. We got
holiday
together.
time.
Yeah.
And he's like, we should just partner up. This is getting too difficult to just do all by ourselves,
Yeah,
you know.
so we
I thought
did
you
it
guys were
together.
kind of
And
together.
We teamed up on one little thing at the parking lot there at the shopping center, and was
during COVID. In August.
And then we got together, and then what I laugh about, I say, well, she had the Slammin Salmon Sky High, I had the Pirate Festival and the Bodacious Bazaar, and then we got together. They had babies. And then we had the Bootleg Fest, the Solstice Shred, and the Bigfoot.
Oh, I get you. Those kind of babies. I get.
Slim Pickens.
And then they had babies. They had babies.
yeah, right on the river now.
Yeah,
So a
yeah.
big
just
testimony
never
to
ending.
your.
So
to
when
your,
we get another, we just kept
a
going.
huge testament to your business, to your outlook is the success you had after COVID. You so wiped out so many people. And
Oh yeah.
I mean,
people
we're just
weren't
building.
going to.
We're still
You
building.
couldn't have
We're
them,
still
right?
building back. We're still answering the same questions we were during COVID.
Yeah, the
times.
last place you would have been going to with COVID was to a festival where thousands of people are.
Yeah,
Right? Man,
But
you
we
must-
made it happen.
But you
Well,
survived.
next year, yeah, we survived and made it through. Well, we went down, just closed everything down. The paper went down, everything went down for that
Everybody
year.
went down, yeah.
And then, we all, that's it. And so when we came back strong.
Well, good that you were able to do this. Now, you're in Southern Oregon, but you're also in NorCal. And I see advertisers in like Grants Pass, right? Or
Absolutely.
Yeah, we cover all the areas. The papers used
we're
to be out in all those places, but
You're on.
oh yeah, I'm on. I'm the Jacques Talks. I don't who puts that picture of me on about KFUG.
I do. Michelle Boover taught me how to do my own paper. Okay, so what happened was, I had somebody who was doing layout for me, right? And she was doing it for the longest time and everything. And then she had health issues, and so she stopped doing it. And I was like, panicked and freaked out. And I went to Michelle and go, I know you're the only one that knows how to do what I'm doing. And what she did, we were down 1 month, just 1 month, and she turned around and she put us on. We got on the Canva and everything, and she taught me. She did the paper for me. Then she taught me how to do the paper.
Wow.
So she taught me to fish. She taught me. She fed me. Then she taught me how to fish and catch myself. So
That's Michelle,
literally,
right?
I'm doing it. So when you get your Jacques Talk or I put anything,
What the heck?
it's me.
We-
I did it
we
for
did
you.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
I did it.
We're like, what is that picture of me doing in the newspaper?
I saw it. I laughed and I go, I know, Jacques. I'm gonna have some fun.
It has to
with
be Doc and Jacques now because the Jacques Talks is retired.
Yeah.
But-
So I'm gonna change it now. Yeah. Because she just gave me that.
Yeah, but it is
She did
No,
too.
I'm
I
just
saw the
joking.
eyebrow go. The coolest part about working
my
in
God.
a small team, which you probably know, like working in a small team, is that we don't have office hours.
Right.
We get it done. And if he forgets something, I remember. And if I forget something, he remembers. And we just kind of go,
And if we both forget it, we just say, forget about it. We don't care.
Get about it.
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Love you anyway.
But when we teamed up, we found out the reason it clicked so well is because we found out that she likes to do the stuff I don't like to do, and I'd like to do. I don't mind doing the stuff she don't like to do, and everything.
A million percent.
And also, she did mention, we have our own hours and everything like that. And I'll tell you, because my daughter passed away in 2020.
Yeah.
and everything, so I adopted my grandson. So I am also raising my 10-year-old.
With Junior. You're raising Junior.
Oh, I'm blessed that I am so blessed that I am able to have this kind of job because I can run my own life and everything. And these events he loves it. He's going to be a part of it. But as he gets older, he'll be dumping garbages in no time for us. Earning them.
My
He wants
kids
to
do
earn
that
some
currently.
summer cash. Yeah, her kids are doing it now for us. So yeah,
It's definitely a family operation.
yeah, we are keeping it in a family, and we've got a really good team with Mega Dodo Productions.
Oh my goodness, you guys have been to our
Mega
shows.
Dodo Production.
Britt and Trent, they do our sound for us, and then we've got Lacey Young, who
Lacey
is
Young.
working with us, the sponsors, everything.
Lacey Young.
She has been in the show.
Yeah, she's on the
She's
show.
brand new, but she's such a great energy to
She
put
just
in.
did a Bodacious Bazaar last week.
Yeah.
She played.
Yeah. she's
Okay, so
So Bruce, and your voice is known on the radio outside of this show. Tell us about your radio show.
Yeah, it's the Insider Report. Like I said, it's one of the first, one of the original shows here at KCIW when we were just doing it, and it was going on the computer. That's all you
Right,
could hear
so-
on the computer. And then just stayed with it, and I used to do it by myself. And then Kat Liddell would come in, and she'd do the library report, for us and everything like that. And one day she was doing the library report, and it was starting to get a long schedule and everything. And I looked at her, and I go, hey, you want to be a co-host with me and everything? So she's been with me for a while. But yeah, we were just talking about this at the beginning. It's all entertainment. Yeah. It's just my insider of Southern Oregon used there, and then local stuff.
But it's on the radio here.
And what's really nice about that is if I don't get something in the paper, I can still get it on the radio show. That's why I tell people, send me whatever you got and everything. But we are getting ready. You asked how many years. We're getting ready for our 500th show here.
Whoa. We're so proud. This is our 82nd.
We're on
500.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk afterwards, and maybe you should be down on KFUG and being broadcast down there too. Syndicate out.
Hey, I got enough going on my planet.
Okay.
Thank you, Daddy.
They'll just carry it. They'll just carry the show.
I don't mind carrying it.
Yeah, they'll carry the show.
Bruce, good Lord.
He always says, I ain't got no time.
So
And I'm like, no more, let's go.
You've got the IOSO, this Insider of Southern Oregon radio show, which tells us, keeps us up to pace with what's going on. Now, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's go into some of your promotional services and events. We touched on them. You've got these festivals, the two of you.
That begot other festivals.
Yeah, you marry them, and then they begat some.
We're creating a legacy of festival children.
Events. We want something to pass on to our kids, and hopefully they'll take over it, or at least leave something here for the thing. And the whole reason we're doing it, and the reason I think that we have the success on those events and everything like that, is because it's done for our love of the community. It's not for money. If we wanted money, we could take this bad boy somewhere.
It, right?
We get asked to go up everywhere and take it. Oh, bring it. And it was like, no, we did it for the community, and these other ones were created for the. And the port is working with us. The Port of Brookings Harbor has been working with us. Been with them for 14 years now, and it's just, that is our success, is because we do it because we love the community and we're doing it. We're not doing it for money. We're doing it for.
Okay, so I need to put my testimony in here. I think both Crissy and Bruce, you guys are approachable. You're not hiding behind facade up in a VIP booth.
Yes.
You are out in the crowd, talking it up, shaking hands, patting people on the back. You're running things smoothly, but at the same time, man, you're authentic. Both of you are so authentic, and it just shows and it pulls through, and then people go, wow, I like this vibe. And I've had you come up multiple times and say, I want to introduce you to the producer of this whole festival. It's like you always, oh, hello, how are you? You're always handle it adequate. And
Oh, no.
We like to have fun. And the thing is like, if we're not having fun, the people who put it on, our production team, our vendors, ourselves, if we're not having fun, you guys aren't having fun. And so what's the point of doing it?
Right.
There's no reason to force something that isn't accepted.
And you can tell, especially the musicians, every single one has fun. They're not just doing their little thing. They're doing, and they're laughing, they're interacting. It's very nice.
We try to make everybody feel comfortable, and Crissy does that, and that's what we do. We build it that, and the vendors. I was a vendor. See, that's the thing. I did this stuff I was director of operations for the Virginia Renaissance Festival. That's why I wasn't scared to jump in and start events there and everything. And I was a vendor there as well. So I walked everybody's moccasins. Yeah. So when I walk with the vendors, they say, hey, you're not just a number. You're not going to pay and not even see somebody. You're going to see me walking by all the time. And if you need me, you tell me what. And I go in and talk to every one of them. They all know me.
I try to make it to every single vendor as well.
She does everything
and
throughout,
I know
so they know who we are, and everything.
I know the names of every band member that sets on our stage.
Mm-hmm.
I know their wives. I know their kids. I know their dogs.
And I always make sure and go over and meet them too.
Yep.
So we intermingle in each other's areas, just like that, because it's all in one. It's a whole big thing.
And we don't like
these things on.
Yeah, it's not, we're all show
We're
humans.
entertainers. Yes,
all
all of us are. Yeah, yes.
Like let me entertain.
Well, we both have live theater experience. We've both been singers for bands.
There you go. Perfect.
I've had 2 TV shows, 2 radio shows, 2 commercials I've done here. I've done a movie. She's done a movie here. Yeah.
I've done like 4 or 5 movies here.
Yeah. So it's like I've done a couple of movies here, and everything like that. So we both have we've walked it, so.
Now, you were saying in the beginning that before you came here, you were doing music, you were traveling as a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Who was,
Yes.
You were in a band?
So,
or?
I was actually married to Scott Perry, which you guys, I think, saw at the Bootleg Festival. And we wrote, God, in 1 year, I think we wrote like 43 songs. It was like always writing music, and we had a recording studio in our house, and it was just always writing music and promoting our music. And it got to the point where, okay, well, we'll give you this gig in Reno or Lake Havasu or wherever it was, but you have to have an opening act. Well, they didn't give us enough money to pay the opening act, so he says, guess what? You're the opening act. So I learned my own set of music and, wrote my own originals, and I started getting equally as popular. But I didn't necessarily love being on stage.
Yeah.
I liked what happened backstage. I loved when the heel got broken and I had the super glue, that kind of thing. Or somebody forgot their mascara, or nobody has, an extra pick or 9-volt batteries. It was like, oh my gosh, this feeds my soul.
Wow.
And so at the end of the day, that's where I don't want to be on.
So do you still sing or play?
Not in public.
Not in public.
I get asked all the time.
She does, but I do.
And he does.
I'm the ham bone of the group. You put it right in front of me, I'll go right on.
You guys will notice this year I don't even hardly get on stage anymore to make the announcements. I'm kind of up there and I say whatever. Yeah. But I really enjoy almost being like his manager and saying, okay, we've got these sponsors, these people, blah, 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 go. And he forgets and he gives me the look, and I go, look at the banner over there.
Look at the banner. I sound looking at the banner. Yeah,
look at that banner, Bruce.
Yeah, we bounce off each other, so we'll like that.
It's early July. What are some of the events coming up this month? I mean, this is the busy time of year, right? I mean, is this not
this weekend coming up?
Okay, what's happening this week? The Sky High 4th of July.
Slammin Salmon.
Which is
boom combo.
Wait, Sky High 4th of July, is that not on Friday? It's on Saturday.
Friday.
Okay, it is Friday.
So Slammin Salmon starts on Friday.
Whoa.
Okay. And so does Sky High 4th of July.
Yeah, so what's happening, right?
Yeah.
We typically, that's like usually a 5-day festival. We're blessed this year with only 3 days, right? Because Friday is the 4th of July. That rarely happens.
Yeah,
sometimes it's on a Tuesday. What a weird thing, right? So we do Friday all day is Sky High 4th of July. That's music all day long. Kids, we've got what we advertise as the Funky Foot Race, but it's literally when I gather enough of the port, I call them the port kids. You guys will, you probably see the port kids.
Okay, yeah.
Their families have businesses around, right?
That's right.
And I mean, out of our crew, we've got what? Out of our crew, we got like 15 kids like down there running some stuff. And so the Funky Foot Race is literally, I get all these kids together and we just run like bats out of hell down to the other end of the boardwalk and back.
Wow.
And it's funky. Yeah. So,
Funky Foot Race.
But what we decided, when we decided to move the Slammin Salmon, it was because of the ocean season.
Okay, but now Slammin Salmon is Sunday, so you have
Saturday and Sunday.
Wait a minute,
I know it's overlapping. Try being the people who run it.
Just go. Doing a
port.
Friday's our party, and it's kind of our introduction to the Slammin Salmon. Okay,
and so people enter,
and
right?
they enter on Friday. It's $29 this year. It's super cheap. Last year was like $65.
And you got to just come down and enter.
And they come down and they enter. They're entered into raffles, blind bogey, which a blind bogey means any fish that's caught and entered at our derby booth gets weighed in, and it's
Slammin Salmon for the fishermen and the fishermen people that are.
And then Saturday and Sunday, it makes no sense to just have a 1-day Sky High 4th of July. So Saturday and Sunday, we just kind of provide the environment that people want to come and they're already here.
We turned a fishing derby into a festival. It's never been that before until we took over. And then we turned it, because everybody goes, it always was just a fishing derby. I go, yeah, but now we're doing it.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's all down on the
It's got to be a
harbor
festival,
with-
yes, at Port of Perkins.
There's gonna be-
Everything we do is at the Port of Perkins.
I
Yes.
see.
Yeah.
Well, not everything.
Well,
We did have a couple more at the estuary property. Which
Well, I mean, that's the estuary. Well, yeah.
And so there's music, going to be music all day.
all day long.
Live bands.
Friday, Saturday,
bands.
Live band.
2 stages like you've had before in the past.
Actually, surprise, surprise,
Yeah.
we didn't realize how popular this was going to be. So I was like, no, keep the budget low. We're going to do one stage.
We got nailed with
and
vendors.
we got hammered with vendors. Like, it's almost as big as the Pirate
It's
Festival.
going right
I'm
on
not
down to that
expecting
end, yeah.
all the way full, right? And so I called our production crew after we were setting up, and I said, hey, I know we got Moonbow coming, and I don't know if you guys know who Tristan Moonbow is, but he's a big, tall guy with dreads. Amazing musician. So he's like, oh, don't worry. We're going to make a second stage for you. So we've got a second little busking station that's going to happen down there.
Cool.
It's a small thing.
Just to help
But
bring it.
we had no idea it was going to be so popular this year, but it's really making a comeback. So
And a pirate festival.
Well, of course, yeah. Well, but
Well,
you had
Bigfoot.
how many people actually? It was
67,000 people.
67,000. Yeah.
huge. It was. It was.
10
The
times
weather
that.
was great, and it was. I'll never forget looking. I'm tall, so I could look over the heads of many people, and I just saw a sea of humanity.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, this little town of Brookings in our region has grown up in a big way with unique festivals. Like this, our friends, Mighty Steelheads, are going to be playing when? Sunday? This Sunday at
this Sunday.
5, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's bands all day.
Well, they're kind of a staple. Like,
Yeah, they're the
back in 2016, somebody said, "Oh, you should get the Mighty Steelheads because the fish, and
Oh,
they're
yeah, totally.
riding the
Slammin'
steelhead,
Salmon.
right?"
Same
And so ever since then, it's like, "Are the Mighty Steelheads playing?" And it's just such a strange thing. But they're our Sunday night party while everybody's closing down. We keep the bar open and a couple of food booths, and we absolutely love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done a really good job for
Yeah, most of the big music is on the 4th of July part of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, have you guys heard the John Doughboys yet?
No.
No, wait a minute. Yeah, it rings a bell though.
Yeah.
John Doughboys, they've got like the stand-up bass,
might have-
mandolin, fiddle, and they're closing down our right as we lead into the fireworks show.
Right
they're
on.
closing it down.
Cool.
Okay.
They stand on top of their instruments. You guys, it's mind.
All right,
it's mind blowing.
we'll be there. And listen, what do you like most, both of you? What do you like most about your jobs that you're doing? What is truly what you getting out to the community, getting out, shaking hands, running things?
Crissy, right?
Yeah. What's
The
your,
solstice shred is why I love my
the
job.
solstice shred?
How was that?
That
went.
one we were going to cancel.
We were going to cancel that because it was just like we didn't know if it was going to be a draw. It's such a when I started listening to these bands that entered the Battle of the Bands, it's metal and it's punk and it's just wild. Holy cow, you guys, we have a demographic to support it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so-
And a
into
bunch
that.
of kids. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
The dancing.
The dumpster puppies who were on here not too long ago, and
Wasn't that?
the
Yeah.
tofu dregs.
Tofi Dregs, Template, the Brookings Oregon Metal Band.
Oh, yeah. To home.
No, bomb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, bomb.
The way, so, most musicians treat me, because I've been handling the music and the entertainment for several years.
Yep.
They're like, oh, that's music Mama Crissy, blah, blah, blah. And they just kind of, hey, girl, whatever. These guys were like, they made me feel like I was a superstar. They were like, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, and they're gonna
That's
play.
why I love
Right.
what we do.
And
that's
bomb
what
will
you
be
like
playing
the
at the
most.
Pirate Festival. They got that on their contest, but
How did you get to that? I mean, how did you get to that solstice shred idea?
My son
yeah.
is a musician and a sponsored skateboarder.
Yeah.
And he went down to Southern California to this 2-week-long camp. And he comes back. He's like, Mom, they throw these festivals where it's skate ramps and it's punk bands and it's music and vendors. And he's like, we have to do that. And I said, well, let me call Uncle Bruce. And he said, why not?
Captain Kirk.
Let's do it.
And the other festivals are all patterned around crap at Chrissy's house. We made a joke about it last time because she brings stuff to decorate and everything, and I went, "Oh, we just we go ahead with every theme,
literally-
whatever's at Chrissy's house. We're going to make a theme out of it." Yeah.
It really kind of
What
is a problem.
don't you like about these festivals? Come on, you've given me you told us all about what you like so much. What's the hard
I
part?
don't like that. There's always something for everybody, right? And again, Solstice Shred.
Right.
Mine.
Oh, my gosh.
I get these people, and it's typically been our target demographic, but as our community is maturing, we're getting a different slice of demographic. We've always catered to the retirees and the thespians and those kinds of performing arts things. And it's always been super mellow, not metal.
Metal.
But then when we went heavy with this one, I had like personal attacks behind the scenes all day. That part of things is really difficult, and I always try to handle with grace. Sometimes I slip up.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't.
It's all right.
But I think that we get a lot of flack from people who they have no idea what we're doing. They have no idea what we're doing. They're not involved. They don't sign up to volunteer. They're not a sponsor. They're not a vendor.
But they're the first one to criticize.
First one to criticize, right?
Absolutely everything. And it's like even local musicians. Well, why don't you hire local musicians? How many times did you play in Brookings last month? Oh, 6 or 7 times. Okay, how many times did you play last week? Oh, 2 or 3 times.
Well, we're trying to bring.
That's why I'm not, and it's not because I don't like them, but you still get that feedback. People think that we love everybody.
Yeah.
And
we put on these festivals for everybody.
And it's kind of anytime criticism, it's they don't want to come and sit down and have a roundtable conversation. They just want to get me or get him in the corner and tell us what they think. And
I catch a lot of flack on the Pirate Festival from some people.
It's pretty
groups.
It's pretty rough. It's really rough. But we only have so much space to work with. We only have so much money because of the space. We only have so much money to work with, and then we have so many acts that fit our different demographics, our different themes, and our different social aspects of every single festival. So we're trying. The reason why we have so many. We're trying to diversify.
Right, yeah.
And get them.
Now, when we came to the shredding
Social shred, yeah.
I actually talked to Dave Holland, and I said, are all the bands kind of this kind of music? And he said, yeah, I think they're all like that. I said,
hard metal.
But isn't that funny, though?
But you know what? It was so perfect. I didn't realize
the
that.
energy was so great.
Right, it really was.
The funny thing about that was, though, because getting flack about that event was designed for people to. It was a battle of the bands. Anybody can sign up.
Oh, they could have been a country act.
But
could have been
all the local bands in
kidding.
town.
We thought it was all
Local bands could have came and signed up if they wanted to, but they looked at it and they didn't do it, except for Bomb, and they were the Bomb. And
they called me up. They said, "Is metal okay?" And I said,
"Yeah." And then they all ended up being metal bands.
It was
that
wasn't even planned.
planned. We had no idea. I'd never even heard Tofu Dregs or Template.
They were so good.
I'd never even heard them. And I was like, oh, they're all crazy punk.
I want to get back to his question though on the downside.
Yeah, what is
things,
the downside?
and it isn't really to me. I mean, we deal with stuff like that and everything, but I'm going to tell you what. For anybody out there that wonders what an event coordinator has to go through or wants to do events or something like that, you got to be willing to sit down and do thousands of hours on the computer. You don't know how. I got hundreds of vendors that I'm dealing with. I spent hours before I came here. We marked off the events place down there and marked off.
Sure,
then I had to go home, put everything over on the thing.
And I had to go
send the
home.
space list, and then she had to go deal with bands and everything. It's like there's a lot of work that goes into these things without saying it. So if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. But I'll tell you what, I love every aspect of it. We'll sit there and we'll go, oh my God, how do we do this? Hey, let's just add another event on, Crissy.
Yeah, let's do a little bit more.
We're so stressed. He's like, I've got another idea.
Oh, I sit there and I told her, I go, I think I've got a week off. I got a week off in between. I looked at it. I got 5 before I get a week out because I do the Bodacious Bazaar, so she gets a break.
Which is weekly.
But I
actually don't get a break. I'm over in the valley or up
she's
north
doing her thing.
networking or meeting with sponsors.
We're going to take a quick break here. We got 6 minutes left. We're not going to pass on the fun time corner because we have to pull out your pens and paper. No, pull out your pens and paper now because we're going to, after this announcement, I'm going to have them give you the lowdown what's happened in July, August, September, although you can find that in the Insider of Southern Oregon. But they will tell you some of the upcoming things, and then more importantly, how you could reach them. I want a special call out to Dan and Phyllis Schmidt for your constant friendly support of being a major supporter of the station. Nick Rail and his 501c3 project partnership for the Performing Center, or PPA, soon to be constructed in Crescent City and serving all of our region. The reimagined Crescent Harbor Art Gallery in Crescent City, California, anchored in the harbor, right next to the boats, and our region's only bowling center, Tsunami Lanes on 101 in Midtown Crescent City. Finally, Dr. GiGi and yours truly, we want to thank you so much, and we love being the supporters of this station and community radio. All right, hope you have your pens and papers ready. One of you two start dialing off. Early July, we have the Slammin Salmon, we have the
Sky High 4th of
Sky
July.
4th of July,
Okay.
Slammin Salmon.
What else?
Bigfoot Blues.
Then the Bigfoot
When
Blues.
is that? When is that?
Bigfoot Blues is the 25th, 26th, and 27th of July.
Another big
And
festival.
it's huge.
Brings
We've
a lot of people.
Grammy-nominated, award-winning musicians that play huge stadiums.
Yep,
that
yep.
number one phone call I get is how much are the tickets? And when I tell them, oh, we just are asking for a suggested donation of $5, they go, last time I saw Ben Rice in the PDX Hustle was $45.
Wow.
You're telling me I can walk down there with a $5 bill? And we're like, yep, come on down.
Bring it on down. That's
Yep.
in late July, the,
Yep,
the
25,
Bigfoot
26,
Blues
and
Festival.
27.
What's happening in August?
And then, well, but we still got July 12th. We got a Bodacious Bazaar.
Yep.
Okay.
In between
Which
the
is a-
Bigfoot
right.
and then the
Between your-
Bigfoot. And then it is August, the second weekend in August, the Pirate Festival. of
Hey, matey.
course. Yeah.
Hey,
August 8th,
what's
9th,
a
and 10th.
guitar's? What's a, oh, there? I just gave it away. What's a pirate's favorite instrument? A guitar. Yeah. Okay. All right. We got August. What else is after that? Anything?
We are actually
Then a
host-
Bodacious.
We've got another
Bodacious.
Bodacious Bazaar. We're co-sponsor. We're working with the film festival. I'm doing the volunteer coordination for that.
Oh, just
and,
another
and
job
Bruce
here.
is going to come and host.
Okay.
And then we're actually hosting our second annual Red Eye on the River festival. It's a hemp festival. It's private
hemp
property.
festival?
It's across the way. It's
What is that?
across
It's at
from
a
the port.
different piece of property,
cool.
sponsored by Top Shelf Cannabis. And then we have the Slim Pickens is bluegrass. kind of-
Slim Pickens.
It's the
Right
Slim
on.
Pickens Fall Frolic. And Slim Pickens was actually one of our first grand marshals of the Azalea Festival Parade
Oh, lovely.
in the beginning of time. So
yeah.
when I was looking for a fall festival, I was like, ooh, Fall Frolic
now when
sounds
does that
fun.
happen?
That is September 20th and 21st,
Okay.
I
Okay,
believe.
so now we're booked out. I mean, we're going way out. Lots of things happening. How do people get a hold of you?
Hold of
There-
you,
Okay.
Yeah, how do they get a hold of you? Their
So-
phone numbers, websites.
Our office
Facebook.
number that you can leave a message at any time without making us crazy is 541-813-0330.
And then
0330. So 541-813-0330.
Yes,
They could actually
sir.
call.
And then you
Okay.
can go to insiderofsouthernoregon.com and get the events, everything, the calendars on there, everything. You read the paper, whatever on that.
Yep.
And then
I like people to use the Captain Curry 541 at gmail.com as far as our email
go
address
send it
goes.
to me.
Captain Curry 541.
I can forward
Gmail.
stuff to her.
Yep. If I get,
You can
yeah,
just scan it. Right?
absolutely. But even if you reach us out to us on Facebook or every one of our events has a Facebook handle. So if people message that, I'll answer you and I'll direct the right person to the right place.
Right on.
And I mean, unless you're a musician, the musicians, I wish more of them would call me and invite me to come see their show.
All right. This
Because
makes
you
sense.
can send me your music all day long.
Right.
But if I don't see and you don't have that same vibration or that same energy, why would I want you on the stage?
Folks, we are at the end of our show. We've got about a minute and a half. I want to thank Bruce Ellis and Crissy Cooper for coming on. Let's
Yes,
do this
thank
every
you.
3
Thank
months.
you. So cool.
Right,
Appreciate
have you
it.
back on in the
Very
fall.
interesting.
We'll have you back on the fall.
Okay, sure.
Let's just
we'll
talk
do
it
the
up.
rap show.
We'll have fun. Yeah, okay. We can do whatever you want. Again, you could reach out to them. I hope you wrote down all that stuff. But I think one of the best ways is to call the 541-813-0330, and that will get you connected with them, and you can find out more about the events that these very interesting people are doing in our community for the benefit of the community. So I want to thank you, Doc, and I want to thank you so much for
Yes.
doing what
Oh,
you're doing.
thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And you're always there, so
There we
appreciate
go.
you always
Okay.
showing up.
Good.
I love seeing you. I've got so many pictures of you guys.
I get all right.
I'll
Tuckle's
send
doing.
I'll bring them next time. I'll bring them.
They can
them
play.
this
They can
weekend.
play with the kitten.
There we go.
Cat
You
now.
have been listening to the Doc and Jacques Radio Variety Show on KCIW 100.7 FM in Brookings, Oregon. We sure hope you have enjoyed the show as much as we have all together.
Once again, thank Tom Bozak for his engineering wizardry in the vault. Email us if you know of any interesting people that want to join us on the show. Our new address, email is docandjacques@gmail.com. And now stay tuned for who? Tony Durso. Folks, thank you so much. Crissy and Bruce, thank you for coming in. What a great show. Folks, see you this weekend.
Hey.